Would it be correct or wrong for Sergeant Nkosi to have been involved in that fashion?
Sergeant Nkosi had no right to interfere in any procurement-related matters within the TMPD. He has no authority. He had no permission. I was not aware that he is busy interfering. I don't know Sergeant Nkosi. I never made contact with him. The first time I saw Sergeant Nkosi was on the Madlanga Commission. So I want to state it categorically. He had no authority to interfere in any TMPD procurement-related matters.
Are there other Sergeant Nkosis who are interfering in TMPD processes? We've only seen one so far. My worry is that could be the tip of the iceberg.
Commissioner Khumalo, if there's any other persons that is interfering or think of interfering when it comes to TMPD procurement issues, we will deal with them.
Has any politician or political party or somebody outside of the TMPD ever given you an instruction to support any service provider or to appoint any individual to a particular position? Have you, since you have been head of TMPD, ever received pressure from a political party or an outsider to make such appointments, whether they are HR related or procurement related?
None has approached me, Commissioner Khumalo, and I don't think they will.
You've never yourself experienced
They
that
have not
pressure?
approached me. Since I'm here, I've started the 1st of October, 2023. None of them has contacted me. I've met with nobody on or off record. Nobody has contacted me to date, and they will not contact me after today in terms of any procurement-related issues when it comes to TMPD or to assist with HR-related or appointments. No, Commissioner Khumalo, and I am under oath.
Thank you.
Commissioner, you've answered this questions from Commissioner Khumalo, and it's about procurement matters, which is also the focus of your statement. But you would also be aware of our terms of reference, that we're not just confined to looking at matters of corruption that may be limited to procurement. We have a wider mandate that includes infiltration by criminal syndicates, the nature, consequence of infiltration in the facilitation of organized crime, suppression of investigations, inducement into criminal or other unlawful activities, commission of criminal offenses, and then aiding and abetting criminal activity, failure to act on credible intelligence, benefiting financially or politically from syndicate operations.
Yes.
All of that is not directly, yes, it does in the broader scheme of things, encompass procurement, corruption. But what I've read for you now very quickly is wider than that. When it comes to the TMPD, are you not aware of criminal conduct that involves members of the TMPD, even just allegations that would involve members of the TMPD, which is not necessarily about procurement?
Thank you, Commissioner Baloy. Commissioner, we have a very active internal affairs within the Tshwane Metro Police Department, headed by Brigadier Danny Manar. Yes, we came across that, especially when I came to the city of Tshwane. And we've dealt with them through consequence management, quite a few. We have to put also measures in place and make sure from the first supervisor, if your member is found wanting, that first supervisor must also be held accountable. You should know where your member is. So we are putting measures in place to make sure that we have a type of a credible TMPD. I do not take kindly to corruption at all, Commissioner. I do not want to see a TMPD officer that's a criminal in uniform. That is not what I want to stand for. We are in charge of the capital city. We are supposed to be the shining star. So we do put measures in place, and we're coming down harsh on those that, even if it's not to do with procurement, anything that is not within the code of conduct and the oath that they have taken, we need to make sure that we are cleaning up. I'm only talking about TMPD, but we must clean up all the Metro Police departments, including all law enforcement departments. We really need to have an introspect and make sure that we do that. We cannot just say it is not happening in my backyard. However, whatever we pick up, not only through the commission, we need to make sure we put measures in place that it does not happen in your department or in your city or even in the country as well.
I may just follow up on my own question. In evidence about another municipality, Metro rather, there are suggestions, for example, that officers are implicated in truck hijackings, for example. I think somewhere there's been suggestions, not necessarily for that municipality, but suggestions about involvement in cash in transit, facilitating those things. Is this an issue that in TMPD you have had to deal with, or you're aware of suggestions and allegations that your officers, some may be involved with that?
When I came to TMPD, it was September. There was a rest of TMPD officers that was involved in I think it was truck hijacking. Truck hijacking, it was involved. That was my welcome to TMPD. So we are not naive, and we know some of the officers can work together. So we are not naive in terms of that. We do make sure that we put measures in place for that. Complaints, when I came, yes, I received complaints like that. In the last year or two, not so much. However, we are not naive that those things are not taking place. There were certain hotspots that I had to put measures in place, whether it is only where it's only for when bribes are taken. Hotspots where you wait for somebody that's coming from a pub, maybe you know people are drunk, which you should not be driving drunk also and not have cash in your car to make sure that you bribe officers. I've requested the officers to actually arrest people that do that. Then I will applaud them. If you arrest somebody that's bribing you, not other way around. So yes, Commissioner, we had that complaints. We are putting measures in place, definitely in that regard. I've got the integrity unit as well. And besides the internal affairs unit, now the integrity unit visit the parades. The integrity unit goes to these hotspots to see where we get complaints from. They mostly deal only with fraud and corruption cases. So yes, Commissioner, we do have to put extra measures in place. You cannot just have your normal measures in place.
Thank you.
Can I just follow up on this? And Commissioner Farrow, to be fair to you, you don't have to respond now, so you can do it by way of a supplementary statement. Issues arose with another municipality. There was no specific allegation against TMPD. So remember you said you were going to deal with the vetting issue and the BAC issue in the supplementary. So can you add these two other issues? How TMPD responds to IPID's recommendations. So in other words, if there was an investigation by IPID and they have made recommendations that have to be implemented by TMPD, what is TMPD's attitude to that? Because we have heard from Ekurhuleni, for example, that if somebody is being charged criminally, then they don't act against that person internally. They await the outcome of the criminal case before they act against somebody, even if there's clear evidence of wrongdoing. especially misconduct of a serious nature, which falls short of criminal conduct. That's the third issue, how you deal with IPID. The fourth issue, it came up, but there was no specific allegation against TMPD, is the issue of whether there are any private companies or security companies that use blue lights and have been given that authority by TMPD, if you are aware of any such cases within TMPD. So please don't respond now, it's unfair to put you on the spot, but by way of a supplementary statement, you can cover those issues.
I will most definitely do that, Commissioner Khumalo, definitely.
And I think the evidence leaders will assist you and remind you if needs be.
They don't need to remind me, Commissioner Khumalo, you will have it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner.
Thank
May I
you.
continue?
No, just to follow up on the question before one forgets. You talk about measures in place that have been put in. If you can just explain just briefly, what kind of measures would those be, one? And two, when would you say those measures were effective, if you were to assist? And I'm asking this because some of the things that we'll go through later on would have happened after you joined. So I just want to get clarity on that before we go further, while we're dealing with this aspect.
You referring to in terms of misconduct or what we are currently dealing with?
Just ensuring that there is no corruption, fraud, and all of those things. You spoke about having put measures in
Yeah.
place.
As I said, we want to make sure that like the Commissioner Baloy has alluded to, corruption is not only when it comes to the tender side, and that is that's one part of it. Corruption also when you stop a vehicle, when you accept goods that you're not supposed to, and you're not issuing the fine that you're not supposed to issue. Corruption can be anything. Giving information you're not supposed to give to assist in a tender. So in terms of the discipline side, as I said, we had the integrity unit already in place. However, we also encourage the public to report. We encourage the public to report any form of corruption when it comes to TMPD and not only report it on social media. We want the public to be part of cleaning up any law enforcement department, obviously, but we would like them also not to participate in any form of corruption, whether it is a fine that you want to get out of or because you are driving drunk. In terms of the procurement side that you alluded to, obviously we've picked up, number one, you have a deputy in charge, which is as a major general, is quite a high level of accountability. It's just under the Commissioner of Police. By putting a deputy commissioner in charge of administration of support, that is quite a huge thing. However, we all know why are we here, and we all know why TMPD is here. And obviously, people will also come before the commission to explain their role in terms of what they did or what they were not supposed to do. We have meetings, as I said, we have regular meetings in that regard. We also make sure that accountability is also for each and every deputy commissioner. But as I say, we're moving forward. We take everything that comes to us. I'm going to plan a very big workshop from the top until the full colonels, so that we can look at each and every measure and make sure that whatever there is that shouldn't have happened and cannot happen, that we will put that measures in place as well. And then each and everyone must take accountability for it.